Unleash the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, which is one of the best personal development books ever written. And I realized that there's a lot of things that the guy is saying here that help you become a better person, but he's missing a fundamental link, which is
whenever a situation comes to you where you have to choose and the choices are haram, halal, choose Allah every single time.
Allah made it for you that you're a partner in a supercar business. Now you have access to a fleet, and you make money from
that. When I want to do things for Allah's sake, right? When my desire doesn't have a portion in those things I enjoy.
There's a lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis that makes no sense.
As I was leaving the masjid, I was going to go buy a chocolate bar.
Average behavior.
So I'm like, you know what? Is this for Allah? It's the opposite. Because I know that I'm going to go and do some work now, right? And my work, I claim, is for Allah's sake. And I'm going to study, I'm going to seek knowledge, I'm going to pray. But what does the sugar do to my brain? It slows me down, it makes me tired, it makes me fatigued, blah, blah, blah. Actually, this is going to hinder what I want to do for Allah. So I left it off. Is Allah not sufficient for His slaves? Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Chai with My Bite. Today you're in for something that's actually going to be very, very unique and very, very profound, right? So let me break it down to you. These brothers that are to my right and to my left are brothers that I personally benefited a lot from in the time that we have become close friends. And when you're around people of substance and quality that have had life experiences, and in that life that Allah has given them, they've been able to, really understand life and decode it and dissect it and extract from it its gems and use those gems to create more gems in life. That is something that becomes a powerful effect on the person that's actually around people like that. And that's what my panel is here for you today, right? They are brothers who, that with Allah's permission, the combined experience here is phenomenal in business, in life, in friendship, in relationships, and deed, and all of these things. So a lot of the times when we sit and we speak, we share rules that we have kind of developed over the years. Like you mentioned a rule, right? One of your famous rules, which I won't mention right now, that you mentioned it, inshallah ta'ala, in due time. And these rules are principles. They're very comprehensive. They apply to multiple situations. It's like a statement, a term, a phrase, or a quote that someone can take away, and you can explain it for hours and hours and hours because it's packed with truth and wisdom and direction and guidance. And these are principles that you can apply whenever you're in a situation that's difficult or tense or confusing, and it reminds you, wait, Zarir said that. And then straight away it brings about a particular behavior. What I wanted to do, and what the panel has done today, alhamdulillah, is prepared some of their most profound life experiences and package them in principles, right? And this is actually going to be a series, right? We're going to talk about business principles. We're going to talk about relationship principles. So when I say business principles, certain rules that you can apply when it comes to business, right? That just work, regardless of your sector, regardless of your niche, regardless of the century that you live in. These are timeless principles that work and will help you make money with Allah's permission. We're talking about relationship principles. Regardless of the time that you're in or the situation that you're in, they work, right? They help you have great relationships, right? Like, was the name of the Khalifa?
Al-Mahdi.
Al-Mahdi.
What about him?
And Hasna and
Al-Malika.
Al-Malika. But we'll talk about that in another episode, inshallah ta'ala. What we're going to talk about today is our life principles that are inspired by a relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is something that I kind of picked out over 10 years ago when I was looking at the book Unleash the Giant Within by Tony Robbins, which is one of the best personal development books ever written. And I realized that there's a lot of things that the guy is saying here that help you become a better person, but he's missing a fundamental link, which is our aqeedah, our relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. To give you a brief example, you know how they talk about being positive all the time? And always, being motivated and being positive and reaching for the stars. This is something that's central for any Muslim because we believe that Allah Azza wa Jal is our wakil. He's the one who disposes of our affairs and He's all able. We also believe that we should have good thoughts and assumptions of Allah Azza wa Jal. So anyone who relies upon Allah and seeks help from Allah and has good thoughts of Allah, he's got access to a limitless resource to be able to achieve great things. The resource here is Allah's ability. It's a limitless resource. So that's why a Muslim, when he faces difficulty, he's the most optimistic, right? Even if it's not difficulty. So there's things that help you become a better person purely based on your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jal. So the first episode is going to be on this particular element of our principle series. So Abu Bakr, you have some principles based on your relationship with Allah Azza wa Jalla and the deen in general that help you to become a better man, that you can apply to pretty much multiple situations in your day-to-day life that allows you to thrive. And by the way, guys, these are going to be the best lessons that the brothers have taken away, right? That are for them personal. So we're not saying that these are the most important things in the deen necessarily, but we're saying that these are the things that we have a personal relationship with that we really found to be beneficial for us. So tafaddal Abu Bakr.
Yeah, so the first one that came to my mind straight away, I mean, you sent that message into the group, was always put Allah first, regardless of how big the potential perceived loss might be in that situation. And I feel like this just comes down to ultimately submission to Allah. You have to submit. If something is haram, you have to stay away. If something is obligatory for you, you have to do it.
So is there a story behind where you came up with this principle?
So, I mean, since the day I started practicing, that is the overarching principle of life. There are a couple of specific examples that I'm going to mention, inshallah, before I hand it over to the brothers to discuss and give examples of theirs. When I first started practicing, it was in the second year of college.
Yeah.
So this is when, I had already applied for university. I already decided which university I'm going to apply for. I had applied for the student loan. Obviously, back then, before I started practicing, didn't really know that it was haram. So when I started practicing now, and I'm still preparing for my exams and everything, and I've suddenly got this massive boulder in front of me, which is the student loan, right? And I've never been entrepreneurial. I've never even had anyone in my close family that I knew of that was properly entrepreneurial.
At the time, you hadn't been an entrepreneur.
Yeah, at the age of 18.
Okay.
So, 17, 18. And so for me, the route to success in life had always been
uni.
Get a good education, get a good degree, get a good job, you're sorted. That's it. That's it. There was no left, there was no right. That was it. Like I was in the matrix, as you might say, right? So for me now, I'm hit with this student loan, it's haram. What am I going to do? Who do I talk to? What do I do? I just said to myself, you know what? Nah, at the end of the day, if this is something that's haram, and I've read in the Quran that Allah doesn't burden a soul with more than it can bear. I've read in the Quran, anyone that gives something up for the sake of Allah, Allah will replace it with something better. I have to leave it off. Had a tough conversation with family. Even my mum, who is very practicing, by the way, had her reservations. Even my mum, you met my mum, right? Allah Mubarak, she's a very practicing woman. Even she was a bit like, but what are you going to do if you don't go to degree? You're going to flip burgers. Like, what are you going to do? My dad, what do you mean? Check this now, yeah? Check this now. So I've emailed the university and I've told them, they sent me an email. I responded to that email saying, can you please remove me? I'm not interested in coming to university anymore for my personal reasons. I won't be attending. About a week or two later now, my uncle, my dad's brother, who lives in America, right? He works in a big pharmaceutical company, quite well off, Allah Mubarak. He finds out that I'm not going to university. And by the way, I was a very smart, intelligent kid. I was getting straight A's. In college, not so much. But before that, I was getting 100%. I think maths, English, science. Or maths and science, maybe English 90%, 80%. English wasn't my strongest point. He finds out, long story short, he says, I'll cover the fees.
Oh, wow.
I went from a second, literally like, within 2 weeks, I've gone from, I've got student loan to pay. I can't afford it myself. Came from not the most well-off household. There's absolutely no way I'd be able to pay it myself, and my parents would be able to pay it. And then my dad's brother comes through after I've cancelled already, and I've already, in my mind, lost my spot. He says, you know what, if that's the reason why you want to do it, I'll cover it.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, this is mad. This is from Allah. This is crazy. But then I've got the issue now of I've cancelled my space. So then I've called up the uni just to see, like, can I have my space back? And they said, what are you talking about? Like, you never told us you wanted to remove your space. Your space is still there.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So then I went back to the email saying, what the hell? I looked at the email. The email that I had sent to saying I want to cancel is the email that they send you for student accommodation, which I hadn't even asked for anyway. It wasn't even for the actual spot. So, قدر الله ما شاء فعل. Look how it all worked out. I ended up going to the uni. I mean, look,
But
That's
then
a,
you left uni.
that's a different story.
He dropped after 3 months.
So I dropped out after 3 months.
I was thinking, I'm like, what's this guy talking about? Didn't he drop out?
That's another occasion now. So I was faced with, do I want to do this or do I want to be seeking knowledge with the brothers? Do I want to be involved with brothers? So I did drop out. But my point is, it still stands, is there was a massive hurdle, £9,000 a year for 4 years. It was a pharmacy degree, 4 years, £36,000. Didn't have that. I was going to take a student loan. I said no. Bro, within 2 weeks, Allah brought the money to me in front of me for free.
So the rule is
no interest, no loan, no extra. Like there's people today that are still paying off the student loans from 20, 30 years ago because of the interest. The rule is, if you put Allah first, and now, with Allah's permission, I think, and this is not from a place of arrogance or anything like that, I think anyone that I would have been in college with or maybe in university
you're
with,
better than now.
I would like to think I'm doing significantly better than
MashaAllah.
99% of them.
MashaAllah.
And I didn't take the conventional route. And everyone was against me. Everyone was saying, what will you do? You're going to throw away your life. You're going to throw. But for me, it was simple. This is
MashaAllah, you're an
haram.
entrepreneur, you have freedom, you live in Sharjah. Point being is that, right, like,
Alhamdulillah.
Allah barik, you have a partnership with a supercar company.
Partnership in a
Allah barik, you're on social media. this,
Alhamdulillah.
that.
So my point is, I was doing just purely from the financial perspective. Purely from the financial perspective, a pharmacist, I think I'm doing quite a lot better than a run-of-the-mill pharmacist. And that all came from what? Giving things up for the sake of Allah. The second story, very quickly, this is close to my heart as well.
But bro, before you go there, there's a second law in your first story.
There's probably many laws.
No, you know what the second law is?
Go on.
The rich uncle always pays the bill. This is a note to my future self.
This is a note
Don't
to my
be
future
emotional
nephew.
with your nephew. Don't be emotional. Always like, you have a nephew who you love just as much as your son, and then like he grows up and he wants to do something and you give him the money and just like
I've been there. I have a nephew that I deeply love and I spent a lot of money on him, and unfortunately he was
goes down the journey.
Taken from you.
Taken from me.
What you mean? Your nephew was taken from you?
It was taken from me. I'm trying to get him back, inshallah. He's gonna.
Your nephew was taken from you?
Yes.
No, it wasn't like Liam Neeson taken. It wasn't like.
I know. I'm
Okay.
like, this sounds like a line from a movie.
Yeah.
He was taken from you. How can your
And
nephew be taken from
I really love the guy. Missed out the last 4 or 5 years of his life.
What's going on?
That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
I have a feeling there's like some
We'll do
insecurity
a,
No, it's
or
no insecurity.
something. Not from your side. From
we'll do an unresolved
clicking
live
from you.
situations
What-
episode one day.
What was the second story?
So the second story now.
Since we started this Righteous and Rich show, I've got messages from so many brothers who are inspired and want to start making money online now so they can have financial freedom and use that wealth to do hijrah and all sorts of other things. But here's the truth. Unfortunately, I can't help you start making money online. I only have a network for 7 to 9 figure entrepreneurs. But with that said, there's one brother that I truly trust who's been helping brothers make money online with zero experience. I've sent him brothers time and time again, and continuously he's helped them get results. And these brothers are now getting married, doing hijrah, and they're financially free. Allah mabarak. Look, I've got a lot to lose by putting my name behind someone in the way that I'm doing right now. But this brother, I vetted him. I vetted his team, I vetted his method, and I really, really trust him. With Allah's permission, this brother can help you make that money. So with that said, I'll put the link below so you can apply for his mentorship if you're interested. With that said, let's get into the podcast.
As you guys know, I'm into my cars, right? So even when I was in college, I bought a nice, it was like £900 car, but it was nice for that time, right? So, alhamdulillah, started practicing, started being with Imran and whatnot. And there was an uncle that gifted another uncle a massive Mercedes 7-seat, brand new. It was a lease. And that uncle who had gifted it to didn't like driving big cars. He used to drive a very small, like Hyundai.
It wasn't like a V-Class.
i20. This was a big 7-seat. You know the GLS?
They brought that back, huh?
And this was in... Yeah,
They brought that back. I saw it on the road the other day.
yeah, they got
I
a
thought
new
they
model.
discontinued it.
No, they're still carrying on. They've just renamed it. Back then it was GL, now it's
Oh.
GLS. But bottom line, without getting into the details, is that uncle didn't like driving big cars, right? So
Let me guess.
we used to need a big car for our da'wah, carrying 5-6 guys, lots of camera equipment in the boot, this, that. So uncle used to let me take the car. So I used to, in the morning, from East London, catch a train all the way to West London, about an hour and a half, pick up the car, go pick up all the brothers in like 5 different locations, go to Birmingham, Manchester, whatever it was, drive back in the evening, drop everyone home, drop the car off home, catch the night train or the night bus, depending on how late it was, back home. But I enjoyed it. I loved it. I'm driving I'm 18, 19, 20-year-old, and for 2 years I was driving this big car. Anyway, eventually it gets to a point now where the uncle's like, listen, you come every morning, you leave every night, you might as well just take it home with you. So I was like, okay, subhanAllah. So, okay, calm, I'll take the car. These times, I don't even have money for petrol. There's days where we're struggling for money for petrol. I'm driving this 100 grand car, right? I could never even imagined driving a car like this ever, right? I was driving a 900 pound little Astra. So we had that car for like 2 years, and even there was another brother who had a car. It was a Mercedes E-Class, and he had to go abroad for a couple of months. So he said, can I leave it with you? Because you got parking at your dad's place.
These brothers he's talking about, if you do them, it's so funny.
So then I remember
The brothers with the cars.
I remember one day I came down, One day I came down, and there was a dua that I'd be making when I started practicing. I'd making dua for a particular car. It was a Mercedes. It was a C63 AMG. At that time, it was my dream car. I used to make dua to Allah when I first started practicing. The moment I say, Allah, let me wake up in the morning one day, the keys on my desk, the logbook's in my name, the car's parked downstairs, and I don't know, I just wake up and the car's just there. I don't know how. Let it be there. So now, months, maybe even a year later, I've come down on this particular eventful day, and I've got 2 keys in my pocket, and I looked at the cars in front of me. There's a white Mercedes E-Class coupe, and there's this big black beast GL 350, and I'm looking at it thinking, which car should I drive today? And at that moment, I said, you know what, that I made that day has been accepted in a way that's better than even up, because the combined value of these 2 cars was more than that. And now I've got the versatility to choose. If I need to take out family, I can go out in the big 7-seater. If I want to go on my own little, driving little cruise, got this car. And again, I'm at this point 19, maybe max 20 years old, bro. 20 years old, bro. Living with my dad, not paying any
You
rent.
missed out an important point, though.
Not earning an income.
No, but you missed out an important point.
What's the important point?
You were looking into getting the leases.
No, I'm coming to that.
Okay.
No, that was after.
Okay.
That was actually the point of the story. This is a tangent just to show you how much this was.
Yeah.
So you got something better than what you asked for.
Bro, crazy. Then after the 2 years expired, the car went back, lease went back. So now I'm looking to buy my own car now. I'm looking at the market, and bro, again, I'm not earning a lot of money these times. So my budget's like 1,000, 2,000, maybe. I'm seeing absolutely crap cars. So I'm thinking, this is terrible. But look, now I was earning some money. Maybe it was like £1,000 a month, maybe even less. I don't know. So now I'm trying to get a lease, because I've heard car finance is haram, right? But at least, there's no finance. It's like rent. I'm paying rent every month. So I've found a car, and again, to even complicate the story further, I've got CCJ County Court judgment for an accident that happened before I started practicing, that I wasn't even driving. My friend was driving, but his license was already revoked. So if he got in trouble for it, he would have gone to jail. But I just lost my license because of it. And yes, the whole time I was driving those big Mercedes, I had no license. But we're going to bleep that. So then I've got CCJ. No one's giving me even for leases, I'm getting rejected. Then one company, I've probably sent 100 applications. One company accepts. Send the deposit. I've sent the deposit, like £250. They've sent all the contracts. I'm going through the contracts. I've actually, on my side, I've signed the contract. But you know what? No, sorry, I've signed it and I've sent it. And I thought, let me just read through it. And there's a part of me that didn't even want to read through it. Like ignorance is bliss. Right? I'm sure it's fine. Don't commit murder. Don't ask too many questions. You're going to mess yourself up. Then I'm reading through, and just before this, we had done the whole student loan thing, and we'd gone through riba with Ustad and in this Clapham house, and we'd gone through the issue of late payment fees. I'm going through this contract now. I see a clause. I said late payment fees. I've looked at it. I've said, no, this is something else. This is not that same late payment fees. I've started doing that time. I don't even remember. I did the craziest research, bro. I'm saying for like 3 months, bro. I'm asking everyone. I asked Sheikh Abu Sahib. I asked Ustad Rahman Hassan. I was asking Yasin. I was going to Islam Q&A. I was reading every single. Bro, I went to the Hanafis. I went to the Shafi'is. I went to I went into people I wouldn't even normally go to, just to get a holistic perspective of this issue.
He's looking for some shadh opinion.
No. To understand,
not to understand it deep.
To understand.
Yeah.
There was somewhere it mentioned that in certain situations it could be allowed, but some of us were saying that no, it's not allowed. Bro, at the end of it, my heart settled on this is not allowed. Bro, I emailed them saying cancel the lease. They took my deposit. I was so upset. I ended up buying a car. It was an Astra. It was like bought for like just about £2,000. And that car gave me a lot of problems, a lot of headache. Bro, it wouldn't go into gear. Like it was long, but I did it for the sake of Allah. Actually, now, bro,
I'm better.
I drive supercars whenever I want. I wanted to right now go pick up a supercar, Lamborghini, Ferrari, whatever's available. I can just go pick up from the showroom.
And you know something? I just deep something about your story.
Go on.
You know, you loved supercars so much, Allah could have given you a McLaren, a Lambo, a Ferrari. Keyword being a.
Hey.
But Allah made it for you that you're a partner in a supercar business. Now you have access to a fleet.
Yeah.
And you make money from them.
And I make money and I don't have to deal with the depreciation. I don't have to deal with the maintenance. Like all the cons of owning a supercar, I have none of them.
So again, it's like what you wanted, what you got.
And it's weird, like I don't even want them anymore. It's weird, like before I used to be like feeling like, yeah, I want to take one like, every month, every couple of weeks. And at the beginning I was, but now it's just like, other than a righteous ride, to be honest with you, that's when I actually enjoy it. When I'm driving with all the brothers and whatnot.
That's when I don't enjoy it. Bro, you guys drive too fast, man. You guys drive too fast. In the sea, it's okay. You can drive fast. There's no radars. There's risk of death, but that's if you catch a wave while you're going fast. But you guys like.
But yeah, wallahi, look, there are so many stories that I can mention that are similar, but just to show, like, bro.
So the rule is, if you summarize the rule.
The rule is, whenever a situation comes to you, where you have to choose, and the choices are haram, halal, Allah, dunya. Choose Allah every single time. And the dunya will be, whatever you thought you were going to miss out on, the big scary thing that if I do this, if I choose Allah in this situation, I'm not going to be able to get married, I'm not going to be able to get a job, I'm not going to be able to get a rizq, I'm not going to be able to have children, whatever it is that you're worried about, I promise you, you will get way better than what you're giving up. That's what I have to say on
100%. Barakallah fi. Can you guys relate to this rule?
Yeah, 100%.
I can relate.
Yeah?
But in a different way. Because I started practicing in university. I started to pray in university second year.
Okay.
And I have my car story as well.
Okay.
Let me share it.
Please.
So what happened was we were 9 friends who went from Dubai to London to university, living in the same building in 4 apartments. And most of us were friends since kindergarten. So kindergarten, so we're like 2 years old. Till we graduate high school, we're friends. All of us. And some of the 9, our fathers went to school together.
Oh, wow.
So this is how close we are.
Okay.
So one of the guys, his name is Muhammad Abdul Nasser al-Khayyat. And this guy is a unique guy. Okay? This guy, very unique. You'll never find somebody like him. And part of his uniqueness is that when he was a kid, he comes from a wealthy family, but when we were in high school, there's a lot of kids from wealthy families in my high school. So they used to bully him by using money. Like, look how much money they used to flex on him. So they traumatized him by flexing on him as a child. So then when he grew up, because they had access to their family's money very early, he got it like in university. So,
the family didn't give it to him.
Yeah.
To discipline him.
So
good.
But then what happens? Like the pendulum swing, you know, he went to an extreme. So this guy, it's like he like took flexing to another level.
Okay.
Just out of like to take revenge on those guys, to let them know who's the big fish. You know?
Were they still in his life at this point? Or
Yeah, of course. You know, everybody's around. You know. So what happened? I'll give you some examples. So those days he had there was
I don't think Facebook was around in those days.
Huh?
I don't think Facebook was around in those days, bro. His high school.
Yeah,
No, it's in university. Started
university started. I think Facebook started in university. Anyways,
it was. Okay.
So what happened? Like those days, the most expensive phone in the world was the Virtue. If you remember it, remember the Virtue?
Facebook definitely.
You guys don't know the Virtue?
Uncle Z.
No, Uncle Z. Anyways, listen. Brother Z, not Uncle Z. Okay? Listen, Virtue, back in the day, there was the most expensive phone in the world, and it came with a personal concierge, and it cost like 20,000 dirhams.
Okay.
Brother, 20,000 dirhams 20 years ago, 25 years ago, was like, the phones were, the most expensive phone was 1,700.
Right.
This phone was 20,000.
$6,000.
Yeah, so he bought it. So I saw him in London in his apartment, and I'm like, Hala, Bajasim, Mabruk, nice phone. I'm just saying this, like, phones and this stuff means nothing to me. I'm just like, pampering his. You know, you got to do it.
Yeah.
So Mabruk. I'm like, where'd you get it from? I'm just making conversation. I know there's only one showroom for that phone. It's in Burjuman those days. No, where'd you get it from? He's like 20,000. I'm like, bro, I didn't ask how much. I said, where did you get it from? He said, oh, okay, sorry, Burjuman. So then like a week later or something, a month later, he comes back from, like he's traveling to Dubai, comes back. So I see him in the bed. I'm like, hello, Bajaso, how you doing? How's the flight? He's like
70,000.
He's like first class, 15,000 something. You know. I'm like, brother, I didn't ask how much. I said, how was it? So long story short, he had the car that he brought from Dubai. He bought it in Dubai, put Dubai plates on it, sent it to London. It was the Jaguar, the XJ.
Okay,
You know, the four-seater.
the one you crashed.
But hold on, did I say it on? I never said it in public, right? The story? No, I never said it in public. So I told you about it. Did you hear? I told you about it.
Tell us again.
But these guys didn't hear. I love the story. So he had the XJ, the 4-door. Brother, in London at 18 in university, you have a Jaguar XJ. It's something with Dubai plates. With Dubai plates. Dubai plates still a flex. Imagine 25 years ago. So what happened? And he is traveling to Dubai. His father is coming. There's a 2-day gap. So when he leaves, he comes to me. He says, bro, this is the key. He said, when my father comes, give it to him. And if there's an emergency and you need to use it, go ahead. You know, if there's an emergency. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it, bro. What emergency is going to happen, you know? He's like, yeah, okay, fine. So then he took his bags. He went to the lift. I opened the door. I watched him get into the lift. The minute he got into the lift, I got into the next one. Went to the parking, took the car. I'm on Park Lane flooring it. And this is the first time I'm driving on the other side right? So when the first time you do it, you make mistakes.
Of course.
So one of the mistakes I made is I went into Oxford Street, not knowing it's one way. Anyways, then some of the other brothers, they used the car, were in the building. One of it was his cousin. So the next day he crashed it.
His cousin crashed it.
His cousin crashed it, got it fixed straight away. So he didn't so he wouldn't know. A month passes, 2 months pass, takes the car to Jaguar London for servicing. And we're all in his apartment, all 9 of us. When he gets a call from Jaguar London saying, sir, we're doing your service and we noticed that your car was in an accident. Maybe you know, but in case you didn't, we just wanted to bring to your attention. So the minute he's like, what? My car was in an accident? So then he said, hold on, because he knows he didn't crash it. So he looks at all 8 of us. He's like, which one of you crashed my car? So me and the cousin, we look at each other. We're about to confess because there's like no way out of it, right? When his younger brother raised his hand and said, I did.
Oh, no. So this car got played.
His car got passed around, bro. Me and the cousin, we just look, we stay quiet, we're laughing.
But he's gonna know now.
No, he didn't.
No.
It's okay now. I probably laugh. It's okay.
Just before we jump back into the podcast, I need to share something with you that's been weighing heavy on my heart for a few years. For years, you guys have asked me, is there a real way to make massive, passive wealth without touching riba? And truth be told, I didn't have a good answer for you. Most options available just seem like riba that's been rebranded as halal mortgages. And if the option is halal, then it's usually too risky, too scammy, or too slow. And then I came across Brother Sam Amin, who has $100 million of Muslim investor money invested in real estate. And this blew my mind. Here we have a guy who's helping people become multimillionaires through investing in real estate without riba. When I heard about it, I didn't jump on the opportunity straight away. I actually investigated it. And I observed the brother for over a year. I met his investors that have made millions on the back of investing with him. One of his investors actually is an uncle who had humble savings that now have compounded into $7 million plus, Allahumma barik, in just a few years. His deal structure is actually amazing. You enter into a joint venture with him and his team manage it 100%. Within 2 years, you're expected to receive a 50% return on your investment, Allahumma barik, and there's no haram. It honestly got really emotional for me because we now have a vehicle that doesn't compromise your deen, nor does it compromise your ambition. So that's why I felt compelled to share this good news with you. So look, if you're serious about wealth creation and you have at least $100,000 liquid ready to invest and deploy within 30 days, and you want your money to move, you want it to multiply without any haram, then Sam's newest development project here in Dubai might just be your ticket to generational wealth. Now, if this appeals to you, it's important that you know that over $5 million has already been committed to this fund. And this round is going to be closing very soon, inshallah. I've placed the link to apply to invest in his fund in the description of this video below. Alhamdulillah, this opportunity is real, and so is the window. With that said, let's get back into the podcast. Okay, Sam.
Let's
reflection on this?
Your principle, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah.
Yeah.
So we're doing Islamic, right?
Yeah, you can mention a reflection if you feel like it will be.
Just a quick, small one.
Yeah.
Go for it.
The uncle who paid, I know you did not continue the university, but I had a brother. I had a $1,500 credit card debt when I moved from New York to Michigan, and that was without knowing interest, and I just started practicing. SubhanAllah, there's this one brother I met in the masjid, and he was like my first influence into like getting on the right path within Islam. You know, he was like, go read Islam QA. He was, teaching me tajweed. Dr. Arthur Hawk. So he gave me, once he found out I have a $1,500 credit card loan, without me asking, he gave me $1,500. He said, pay it off immediately and then pay me back $150 every month.
Oh, wow.
And in 10 months, you're going to pay it off, right? And then subhanAllah, now he has an organization called A Continuous Charity.
Oh, this is
the brother. He's a doctor. He's a physician, mashallah, out of Texas. He moved from Michigan to Texas. And this one is the only one I know, literally no strings attached. They pay off student loans. And basically you pay them back. Not even an admin fee.
Wow.
Continuous. So because his biggest motivation for doing this was, he said, I became a physician because I'm blessed. My father paid the bill. Now, we need more physicians, engineers, architects, right?
So
how are we going to do it if we can't take student loans? So it's my personal mission now. And they gave out $8.5 million USD in continuous charity, meaning you give charity once, the student pays back, and they have a very rigorous process. So he does the admin work, all like very rigorous process. So he's not just giving it to anyone. You have to get like 3 letters of recommendation from local imams in the masjid. You have to have voluntary hours in the masjid. Like all those merits and your grades and everything. You're a serious student. You're truthful. You're honest. After all those certifications, they give you the loan.
So that's how they make sure that the money isn't going down the drain.
Exactly. And they never had a default. It's been like 7 or 8 years in the running. So it's already on the 2nd or 3rd round because 4-year degree, students paid back. Another 4-year degree, students paid back. Is on its 3rd round.
Wow.
That's crazy because one of the first episodes we ever did on Chawman Bai was about student loans being haram.
Yeah.
At the end of it, we actually mentioned an idea similar to this. Someone should make something like this.
Yeah.
Till now, we get emails saying,
Yes.
brother, I watched that video. Did you manage to set anything up? I want help. This, that,
wow.
that.
So
But I
this
assume
is-
that's only for
US.
US and only for doctors.
No. Anything.
Oh, okay.
You said
any
that
degrees.
This uncle or uncle.
No. He's like he's
brother.
he's our
You
age.
said this brother is going to
Yeah.
be coming to the UAE soon, right?
Yes, he's coming to the UAE
We
soon.
have to get him on a podcast.
100%.
Inshallah.
That's Dr. Hawk. He took me to first itikaf.
Wow.
And literally, like, he kind of forced me to go to the first itikaf, and that changed my life. 2015.
Look, this brother, is he very successful himself?
Oh, mashallah, very successful.
If I could just mention my principle because it links to this.
Please, go
Yeah,
ahead.
and then we'll come back because this point you mentioned is very pertinent. So, for me, I noticed that my rule is make your living and your dying for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, Allah says in the Quran, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. Say that my living and my dying is for Allah Azza wa Jal. That's very hard to actually do, right? Like to be sincere in everything is it's extremely hard. Like to correct your intention is the hardest thing. It's the toughest thing that you will ever cure, as the Salaf would say. But we should all strive towards doing it, right? And when a person can make his living and is dying for Allah's sake, or his life, he lives for Allah's sake. Subhanallah, you find that Allah takes care of all of his affairs in his life. Allah says, Alaysa Allahu bikafin abda. Is Allah not sufficient to suffice the needs of his slaves? You know, if you look at that word suffice, like that means to completely and entirely take care of. If you make Allah the reason why you do certain things, Allah said, I'm going to take care of everything for you. Like everything. The more of a slave you are for me, the more you do things for me and my sake, the more in return, I'm just going to take care of you. So this is something that I reflected on my life. I look back, and ever since I started practicing, it's been hard for me to be motivated. And I don't say that I did this from a sense of righteousness. I feel like Allah has just guided me to this. So there's no praise due to me on this. It's just that Allah took out of me the joy of doing things that weren't connected to his cause, right? And that's not because I made the choice. I just couldn't enjoy things that weren't connected to that, right? Maybe it's because I'm an obsessive person. But the result of that for me is that I've, over the last 10 plus years of my life, really only done things or tried to do things, build projects or do businesses that somehow served Allah's religion. And I found extreme fruits and blessings in that, right? That when you do things for Allah, Allah suffices you and everything else. So, subhanAllah, the fact that you mentioned the story about his brother, like this is a service that he decided to do that, you know, he didn't have to do. Like he's put his money on the line, that he's put his time and his effort on the line, but he believes firmly, deep down in his heart, riba is haram. Not only that, we need to provide a solution because this is something that we need. We as Muslims, we need physicians, we need professionals. So I'm going to take it on myself to do this. He risked his money, he spent his time, and Allah Azza wa Jal allowed the project to be fruitful. But as you said, he himself is successful. No doubt it's always going to be like that. And the reason I wanted to mention this now is because I believe everyone should have a project for Allah. Everyone should have a project for Allah. You have to. Like, look at whatever it is that you do. Like, I'll give you an example. Something that you could even do, right? Which you might not, but it's like a freestyle. You could even take, you know, youngsters, shabab, and just take them to the ocean to help them to become men. You could have a thing you do once a month where, you know, like mothers who are struggling with their kids, or, you know, who's like single moms or whatever have you, or they've got children who don't have a male role model. They don't have a father figure. You say, you know what? I will take 8 kids every month to the ocean, just teach them how to be men. You know why? Because we as Muslims, we need men. It's a service. I'm helping mothers that are struggling, who don't have, for example, you know, husbands, or husbands are somewhere else or whatever have you. Something like that, for example. With the things that you do, there should always be something you're like, I'm building something for Allah's sake. The fruits and the benefit of that comes into your life and everything else that you do, it multiplies. It multiplies in ways and shapes and forms that you can't imagine. And also just want to mention that when you do things for other than Allah, I find I always get sad. Like, nothing have I ever done for other than Allah's sake, except that it brought me sadness, even if it was permissible.
What do you mean? Give me an example.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the example by reading a statement of Imam Ibn Qayyim, because the statement makes sense. And he's talking here specifically, his statement here is in the context of women, yeah?
Can you also give an example from your own life?
I knew you were going to go to give a woman example.
No, but no.
Fawaz said no women examples.
No, but this is powerful. Look what he said.
Why? Is it gay?
No.
Back the table.
Listen. He said, الصبر عن الشهوة أسهل عن الصبر على ما توجب الشهوة. He said, being patient in staying away from fulfilling your desires, even if it's permissible, he's not talking about haram desires. Even to endure patience in abstaining from the desire is easier than having to endure the patience that comes as a result of following your desire. He said, فإنها إما توجب ألما, because what is it that comes from the desire? Either it's pain, وعقوبة, punishment, وما إن تقطع لذة أكمل منها, or maybe what you will do is, and you might be able to relate to this, because this is about instant gratification and delayed gratification. He said, perhaps you will disconnect yourself from, or cut yourself off from, a desire, a joy and a pleasure that would have been greater than this, right? Like, if you just waited, instead of indulging in the desire now, instead of doing the thing that you want to do now, maybe if you just waited a bit longer, you would have got something that's greater than it. Because we know the longer you cook something in the oven, the better it comes out, right? You don't want to burn it. And then he says, what? وما أن تضيع وقتا إضاعة وحسرة وندامة. Or this is going to cause you to lose time. right? It's going to cause you to lose time, and that time that you've lost, you're going to regret that more than having regretted missing off this thing that you indulged in. وما أن تسلم عرضا توفيره أنفع للعبد من ثلمه وإما أن تذهب مالا بقاؤه خير له من ذهابه. He just basically breaks it down from every angle. He's like, either indulging in desires costs you money, it costs you time, it costs you your honor, it costs you another desire and an outcome that could be better. And even that thing, either you're going to leave it or it's going to leave you. It's just going to result in pain, right? Whether it's, for example, a thing that brothers like to do, for example, is
Eat cookies.
Cookies, right? For example, polygamy, like polygamy. And let's be honest, the concept sounds nice and it's joyful and whatnot, but it causes pain. Whenever you speak to a brother who's engaged in polygamy, overwhelming majority of the time, they tell you, brother, it's just long. Now, he has to ask himself, was it worth it? Now, from the outside, it always seems prettier than it is when you go inside. When you go inside, you're like, brother, this is long. This is long. Look at the time I'm spending. Look at the resources that I'm allocating. Look at the money that I'm spending. And likewise, when, for example, buying clothes, doing this, doing that, this could be on a smaller scale, it could be on a major scale. What I've seen and I've learned in my life, that when I want to do things for Allah's sake, right, when my desire doesn't have a portion in those things I enjoy more. That doesn't mean that I'm 100% always doing things for Allah's sake. No. Of course, ibadah has to be for Allah's sake. But even things from the dunya, sometimes you indulge here and there, sometimes you do that. But when you try to make Allah your compass, subhanahu wa ta'ala, and like ask yourself, how Christians, they say, they got this, what would Jesus do band? What would Jesus do before they do an action? Ask, so what is this for Allah? Is this for Allah's sake? I'll give you an example of how this applied to me on a lesser level, because it allows you to operate on a higher level in life as well. So as I was leaving the masjid, I was going to go buy a chocolate bar, right? This is
Been there.
about a week ago. I was like, what, let me just go. And I was feeling a flake. You know about the flake bar?
Yeah.
It's flaky.
It makes a mess.
Makes a mess.
It's a massive mess.
Nice mess.
Ah.
You know what I did? Because I just said to myself, Imran, bro, you just said you were going to start living for Allah. Right? And inna salati wa nusuki wa mahyaya. My living is for Allah. This is going to bring in my food. It's going to bring in my time that I spend with my kids. It's going to bring in any item that I buy, any penny that I spend, right? So I'm like, you know what? Is this for Allah? No, it's not. In fact, it's the opposite. Because I know that I'm going to go and do some work now, right? And my work, I claim, is for Allah's sake. And I'm going to study, I'm going to seek knowledge, I'm going to pray. But what does the sugar do to my brain? It slows me down, it makes me tired, it makes me fatigued, blah, blah, blah. Actually, this is going to hinder what I want to do for Allah. So I left it off. And I've been able to use this as a frame to actually leave off a lot of things that are lowly. Things that I would, on a day-to-day basis, they're not haram, bro. But it's just not great either. Now,
Average behavior.
say again?
Average behavior.
Average behavior or below average behavior even. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is a very, very, very powerful frame that allows you to perform better, number one. Number two, allows you to enjoy things. And then that help of Allah comes. The help of Allah comes. And, Allah Azza wa Jalla, as he said, Alaysa Allahu bikafin abda? Is Allah not sufficient for his slaves? And it's sufficient for me to leave it there. That's the bottom. That's the mic drop.
Bro, on the sugar thing,
Yeah.
like first thing, I call things for what they actually are.
Poison.
Yeah, I don't call sugar poison. Chocolates, they're poison.
Yeah.
That's what they are.
Yeah.
So second thing is that, isn't it funny when you go into a petrol station, because I can relate to your example, you go into a petrol station and you have that urge for something sugary. The flake is 2 dirhams.
Yeah.
But
Strawberry.
the watermelon juice, the fresh watermelon juice is 14.
Yeah.
Do you get what I
Or
mean?
20. Or 25.
Or 25. Yeah, go for the fresh juice, bro.
Yeah.
Do you get me? And that's what I found. Whenever I have that craving, if I buy Roman instead of the flake, the Roman for 20
Pomegranate.
or whatever, pomegranate, you have that, khalas. The sugar urge is gone.
Yeah.
And you're healthy.
Yeah, 100%.
You ate fruits.
100%.
You know what I mean?
barakallah
That's just a hack for you.
No, barakallah feek,
Yeah.
man. Actually, that's a hack is how I've been surviving since Ramadan.
Fawaz.
Fruits.
Give us a principle for us.
Being someone who's committed to making millions of dollars without compromising my deen has been a very lonely journey. But this year I've realized that some of the most sophisticated entrepreneurs and investors are people who fear Allah, attend our retreats, events, and watch this show. There's just one issue, and that's that they are scattered across the globe. But all of that changes, inshallah ta'ala, on September the 6th, because we are launching Circle of Powerful Muslims Making Millions, inshallah ta'ala. So if you're interested, click the link below, inshallah ta'ala, and apply. Now, with that said, let's get back into the podcast.
I think Sam was going
No, you haven't spoken yet. Well, so we want
You
to
said
hear
two
you.
words.
We want to hear you.
That will fit into his persona very well.
Yeah, average behavior.
Average behavior. Just literally those 2 words. Like all he said in this podcast is that
Since the last episode, he said, I don't
and he
know.
said it with such
That's gonna be
disgust.
a line. That's gonna be a line. Like, you know, whenever somebody says something, he says that's gay. Those 2 words. Now
Yeah,
it's
we
gonna
should
be
get merchandise of all, like, Fawaz will have many.
Yeah.
Average
yeah.
behavior.
Well,
Okay.
well, Sam,
That's
one
average
second.
behavior.
Sam, we've been waiting, my brother. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And Mr. Operations,
Yeah.
please pat on your guy.
Oh, inshallah.
There's supposed to be merchandise.
Inshallah.
Average,
Average behavior.
kill average behavior.
That's one of my slogans. Is I'm getting a cut. There's a lot for me that came to mind, especially when we talked about the, doing things, the principles of why we do things for the sake of Allah, that builds this relationship. I think my biggest one, it's one I believe in life in general, and it's especially one when it comes to Islam. It's just like, first of all, intentionality, one thing that I've realized with a lot of us, there's a lot of things that we do on a day-to-day basis that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And in truth, if you actually look back and reflect over why you do it, it's like there was no benefit, there was no fruit, there was no khair to that action. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just to live with absolute intentionality, and that is for Allah, which is, it goes back to, it's reinforcing the point you mentioned, that everything you do is for Allah. And that's why, I've made certain decisions to remove certain things from my life and take certain things in my life where another person will look at you like you're being extreme. But it's like, it's starting with the end in mind, right? Where you have the concept of what is your end, right? Depending on what your end is, something is extreme and it's not extreme. Does that make sense? So I feel like people, unfortunately, we judge a lot of things, whether they're good or bad, but nothing is necessarily good or bad. What is your end? If you desire Jannah Firdaus, of course, the way you live, because of your intention, the way you live day to day is going to be different. If you have a certain desire with business, like sometimes I'm speaking to a brother about business, what I want to do with the company. It's clear we have different goals. I'm trying to optimize for my company's vision. He's trying to optimize for revenue. There's a disconnect, right? We're not on the same exact path. Does that make sense? So when you clear what the end is, and that's what innamal a'malu binniyat, right? The actions are based on their intention. Ask yourself, every action, what do I intend to gain from this action? And then you can actually worry about the path, right? But what a lot of us do is we live, and then we're like, oh, subhanAllah, why did I do that? Or, I'm doing this random thing. Like, it's like, because it was disconnected. If you actually thought every day, what was my main purpose? And that's why, even in my days, I have themes. Like this day, overall, I'm just there to primarily fulfill clients. Friday, this day is for muhasabah. It's actually to reflect with Allah, on my actions and my behavior, etc. So based off of what you intend, then live according to it. Rather than being random. And this, wallah, has significantly benefited me in deen, because sometimes I'm about to do something in my life, but then I ask myself, okay, but Fawaz, what are your goals? Yes, this is accepted by Amin Nas, not to say I'm not a general person, but it's accepted by everyone. It's not a problem in life. No one's ever going to look at you as weird for doing this, but does this fit your end? Personally,
So summarize it again in one sentence.
Be intentional.
Be
That's what I
intentional.
knew- that's
Or live
what
by
I was
design.
gonna say.
Live
No,
by design.
be intentional.
But be intentional.
Another 2 words.
Be intentional is a command. So what's be intentional? Like, what's the result?
No, it's clear. Be
You're right.
intentional.
It's, my bad.
It's
Yeah,
clear.
you're right.
It's clear. Be
Yes,
intentional.
yes,
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like for many things, it's going to apply. It's pretty holistic, right?
Don't be random. Be
Yeah,
intentional.
exactly. Like,
Yes.
even, for example, people will just, even marriage, for example, a brother will see a good wife, a good girl, or whatever, and he'll marry her. All right? Perfect. That's him. Maybe he's not optimizing for something special. But if you have a specific outcome you desire, you're going to need a specific woman in order to enable you to get to that outcome. Just what I'm saying? So it applies to everything in life. Your diet. Why do athletes, why are they so intentional? Because they need a certain energy to exert, to
They need
to
a
be able to
certain
do
result.
exactly.
In essence,
Does that make sense?
This is the principle of living by design.
Yeah.
You should know exactly what you want,
And
then
to
you-
design your life
then
accordingly.
you design your life accordingly.
And
right?
brother, this isn't for. There's many people who will watch this, but that way of living is not for everybody.
Why not?
It's
It
not
should
for
be.
everybody because for like a million reasons. But one, some people are happy with just being a twig in the river, going with the flow and being random and not being intentional.
I don't think they're happy.
No, they're.
So you're saying average behavior.
Yeah, I'm saying
Average guy.
I don't. I don't think
course they're
Allah
not
made
happy.
it
Of
for the
course they-
human to be happy.
He's
with
not
the average
saying
person.
he's not saying that it wouldn't be better if they did do this.
no, average
saying
people are not
most
happy.
people
By the
won't
way,
even-
They're not happy.
they're actually far more depressed. Like, and there's no greater pain, by the way, a man can ever
They're
have.
greens. Average people are usually
Yeah.
greens, and it takes them 2-3 years to actually realize that
No,
this.
so I've seen average of every color.
I still
Really?
don't know
Yeah, of
I would
every
agree
single
with
color.
Fawaz.
Really?
I would
Yeah,
agree
of
with him.
every
The bulk is green.
single
The
color.
bulk is in green.
Like average.
It's
for
your
me,
experience.
I think that's because
Yeah.
the bulk in general of people is green.
Yeah,
I don't know what green
that's
means.
true.
I don't know what this
People are
color
generally
is.
green.
Read the book, man. Sound of an idiot.
Brother, anything that didn't exist in the 90s, I reject. Okay, this is my
I'm not
principle.
gonna lie, I'm pretty sure-
Lingo. This is my principle.
I'm pretty sure it's an old principle. Though. It might be from the 90s.
Huh?
He initially made it in the 90s.
Yeah.
I believe.
Maybe in the 90s, then
I'm
maybe.
pretty sure.
Maybe we'll consider it. We'll
But
see.
Sam, talk to us, bro.
So, Sheikh, you guys covered pretty much
Mhm.
what I had on mind. But one thing, Zarir's reaction is so funny.
No. I was reacting to something else, not to you. When you speak, brother, I listen.
No, alhamdulillah.
Everybody, but especially you.
And alhamdulillah. So one principle, it came to my mind. I knew it, Sheikh, but I was able to frame it after reading the Sword of Allah, Khalid ibn Walid's book,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's basically be a lamb and a lion.
Oh wow.
So basically be a servant and a savage.
Oh
And it
wow.
goes to basically leadership lesson, right? A true leader is a balance between mercy and might. It's very subtle, but it has to be that difference. Like Sahabas, they broke swords in battlefields.
Uh-huh.
But right away, they're able to come home and hug the orphans, spend
Mhm.
time with their wives, right? Next day again, they're able to break swords. So, because we cannot it's hard for us to imagine because we're just hugging. We're just lambs all the time, most of the time,
Mm.
right? Or we're just lions and fierce all the time, but just switching immediately. For example, Khalid ibn Walid, like his name would instill fear in Persia and Rome, right? But when he was taken off as the military commander, he was crying. And that was not because of his ego.
No, he wasn't crying. He was shedding tears.
He was shedding tears.
There's a difference.
There's difference, yeah?
Yeah.
Why
That's
was
what
he shedding?
guys they don't understand, especially religious guys.
Yeah.
They don't understand. There's a difference between crying and shedding tears.
Yeah, he was emotional, not because of his ego, but because he thought he failed the ummah. So a lion like that, shedding tears, thinking that he failed the ummah. Think about it. Even like Umar radiallahu anhu, he was Amin al-Mu'mineen that time, right?
Mhm.
And there are famous stories where he would basically go out in the night and check on people, carry food for people, carry goods for people. He's the commander-in-chief,
Mhm.
right? And people would come and say that let us carry the burden. And they used to say, will you carry the burden for me on the day of judgment?
Allahu Akbar.
So, but Umar radiallahu anhu, like shaitan was afraid of him, right?
Mhm.
Or shaitan wouldn't come around him,
Yep.
right? And he was the tallest with the largest stature, like people would see him from far. Some people say like when he was riding a horse, you couldn't tell if he was standing or
Mhm.
riding. He was so tall, right? It's a lion.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, he knew how to be a servant.
Allahu Akbar.
And I think as leaders, and many times I have failed because I was just one-sided.
Mm.
Probably I was too strict when I needed to have the balance, or
Mhm.
probably I was too merciful when I had to be strict,
That's very profound.
right? And our deen, in all the examples, all the great men, it teaches all the time. Like you have to know when to strike with the sword and when to be kind with words.
It's so interesting because when you look at growth here, and when you talk to people that operate in any particular field at a very high level, they'll tell you there's a point where the frameworks don't necessarily work. Like you can't really, for what you're describing right now, I can't give you like a framework when to
You have to
be
be agile.
the lamb,
Yeah.
when to be the
It
lion.
comes with experience.
It comes with experience. You just know, like as in you
And
just
you will make mistakes, but you learn from those mistakes.
you learn and just recognize situations. Is there element of intuition? Is there element of just judgment? But what do you think a person needs to do to get to that stage where he's able to kind of switch and know this situation requires lying, this situation requires...
I think, Shah, you answered it. It comes with, and probably Fawaz can weigh in, I think this is
Reps.
something just comes with experience.
Yeah.
Reps.
Just reps,
Yeah.
being in the trenches.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just reps as well.
I don't think so either.
I think reps is going to be big. But it's all about how, I believe, like when you look at these men were great with Allah. And, you know, this, first of all, this is something that is wisdom in itself, knowing when to be harsh and when to be, you know, soft. And first of all, it's a wisdom that one must ask Allah for, genuinely. If it's something you desire, you actually need to ask Allah to help you and aid you in how to, you know, lead. And the second thing I think that's really, really important is to, of course, like you mentioned, experience, study situations, etc. But also you have to have things that also bring you, like, this is reflection time, as I like to call it. Because I've seen experienced people who still can't lead effectively. Or I've seen super soft people who have been soft for ages. Clearly it's not working and they're still not able to change hard. I think it's that experience plus reflection where after a situation happens, like you can imagine, after they used to give a fatwa, they would go and think about it for ages. Right? Or they pass a command, they'd think about it for ages. So they'd ponder. So actually going back and thinking over the action, I believe that every leader has to reflect.
This reflection point is actually very, very powerful because, subhanAllah, I just finished reading a book not too long ago. It's called Make It Stick, and the whole book is about, basically, the authors, they spent 8 years writing the book, and in the 8 years they studied 100 years worth of literature on how to learn better, right? And learning, they divide it into two things. Actually, Ibn Taymiyyah said the same thing many years before them, is understanding and memorization. So what is the way that a person can learn in a way that allows them to really understand and memorize at a very, very deep level? So 100 years worth of literature they studied, and I would recommend anyone who is a learner or an educator or a lifelong learner, as we all are, to read that book. There's one particular thing that they mentioned on the chapter of reflection, which was very, very powerful. They said there was a neurosurgeon, actually the same neurosurgeon who performed surgery on Sheikh Zaid in America. He was taken there to the hospital when he was like one of the masterful surgeons of the world. So he actually performed surgery on him, rahmatullah. Anyways, this surgeon, there was a particular situation in which he had to remove a tumor. And the rule is, when you remove a tumor, you do it quickly, right? It's like a principle. When there's a tumor in the brain, you remove it quick. And as he was removing a particular tumor, he noticed that there was bleeding behind the tumor in the brain. So he goes, now the situation becomes completely opposite. Is that when there is a bleeding, you have to do what?
Slowly.
No, you have to move it quick. Sorry. Let me start the story.
It's the other way around.
It's the other way. When you're moving a tumor, it doesn't have to be quick. It
has to be slow.
It has to be slow.
But when there's bleeding, then you need to move quick.
When there's bleeding, it has to be quick, because if the bleeding spreads in the brain and whatnot, I'm not a brain surgeon, but it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. The person could die. So he's like, bro, like, in order to be able to make that switch in that moment, I actually have to switch it up now, but I have to still do it with the same care, so that I don't actually mash up the guy's brain, basically. And he mentioned this particular surgeon had a habit of consistent reflection. Like, even what he would do is he would freestyle certain techniques himself in the surgery, where he would take a part of he would notice an artery or a vein has like a damage in there. He would take a little bit of the flesh from somewhere else in the brain and patch it up midway in the surgery to stop the bleeding and to carry things on. And he mentioned what made this surgeon so successful is that every single day after he would perform a surgery, he would go and reflect over the entire surgery and ask himself, what did I do? What could I have done? What could I have done better? And they said this concept of reflection, it's shown to actually deepen the understanding of things inside of your mind and make it almost second nature. Which is interesting, because Allah Azza wa Jalla refers to those who reflect in the Quran as ulil albab, those with deep intellect.
Can I jump in on this one, Sheikh? I actually was researching this because it's actually one of my other principles.
Yeah.
The reflection thing, and you know, there was something crazy I found. You know, subhanallah, every single great man in history, you can look at it from an Islamic standpoint, or even from, you know, a normal standpoint, right? Non-Muslims. Every single one of them used to have huge periods where they'd lock themselves away and spend time reflection. Like consistently. Every single person. They would spend huge times on reflection. And I don't think anyone can argue that's where the success came from. You know, even the poets at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, there were some of the ones where they would make the poem 1 month and then they would spend the 11 months of the rest of the year fixing the poem. Just one poem every year. 11 months fixing it. It only took him 1 month to write it. He spends 11 months fixing it. And this is why as well, Ibn al-Jawzi, he talks about not releasing a book until you reach the age of Nubuwah, 40 years old.
Oh, wow.
Because it's after that amount of reflection where you can it's actually healthy for you to publish these ideas. You know, subhanAllah. So the reflection one is big.
Very interesting. Yeah, and I think that because look, you give yourself feedback loops, isn't it? Like when you're wait, I was a bit too tough there. I was on lion mode. Was it appropriate? Wait, what was it about that situation?
Shura is important as well.
Say that again?
There are situations where you might not necessarily know. So
Yeah.
you go to people that are known to be experienced, known to be wise in this industry. What do you think? Do you think that was a good idea?
Yeah.
The
Remember say
governor.
a wise man learns from his own
Governor.
mistakes, and even wiser man learns from the mistakes of others,
Mhm.
and a fool never learns.
Beautiful, man. Taib, let's leave it on that, man. Alhamdulillah.
Zarir didn't
You
mention.
mentioned it.
No?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
But it's okay. I don't need to.
Oh, no, I'm on.
No, I don't want to.
No.
You
No,
won't like
no.
it. You're going to beep it out anyways, bro.
Go on, humor us.
يلا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله. This is the religious one, right?
Yeah.
No, you guys covered everything.
No, relationship with Allah.
No, you said this. The subject is the guiding principles by which,
Based on your relationship with Allah.
based on my. Well, yeah, you guys covered everything.
Something personal.
Huh?
Should I get one on your behalf?
Give one on my behalf.
Always do istikhara before any major decision. You will never regret anything.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. I used to do this. You know, even the last two
What do you mean
advice.
you used to do this?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Tell me, please.
I'll tell you what I mean. And this is why I said, end it. Okay.
Subhanakallah wa
Because
bihamdika.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Even when you guys were talking now about the example of Khalid ibn Walid radiallahu anh, which was a very good example. And, you know, maybe at another time I'll give my analysis on what my brother Sam said, because there's a deeper level that gives more clarity on that example and more benefit to the one listening to it. You get me? Because I still don't feel that anyone hearing the example that Sam gave would take the complete value that Sam has already.
So why do you mention it now?
So I'll give you an example. You said, how do you know when to be the
Lion.
lamp and when to be
The line.
the line? All right. And then you say it comes with experience. One guy said it comes with experience, with reps. And I said, I don't think that's the case. And you know, this word think, I need to delete it also from, I'm being nice. I'm certain it's not the case.
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't come with experience. It's very simple. When to be the lion, when to be the lamb. Yes, you have to be both. But if you look at his example, what was he more?
Lion.
Khalas, that's it. That's it. Simple as that. Simple as that. You get me? Why you have to say it comes with experience? It comes with wisdom. Yes, it does come with wisdom. It does. But just look at his example. Look at not only his example, look at the example of all the kings throughout history and the leaders throughout history. Were they more lamb?
Definitely not.
Come on.
No, I disagree. Like
That's the
when you saw Uthman, what's Uthman more?
Bro, I won't go into the details of...
No, صراحة. What was Uthman?
Uthman
As in,
ibn Affan.
Uthman was better than Khalid.
and not only that, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiallahu anhu. My
Or
point,
even the best
Bro.
is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Yeah, but then also the way the seerah of the Prophet has been taught in the last 20... Anyway, I don't want to get into it.
no,
I don't want to get into it. But this is why I said I used to do istikhara for everything small and big. Okay, we'll get into this. I'll give you an
But
example.
one second, can I just comment? Because I don't want a disservice to be done to what you're saying, because I agree. I understand what you're trying to say.
No, but I don't want to come off in a different way.
I
That's
know,
why I wanna stop
no.
it.
One second.
Most likely, this whole section is probably going to get cut out.
No,
anyway.
one second. No,
Okay.
inshallah, I won't. Let me alley you.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is not pushing weakness amongst men, right? But you also see virtue in being merciful and being gentle. When
Of
you need to,
course.
right?
But,
So the
but
way
I'm saying,
Allah has made people, that some people by their nature are more lying by default.
And it's
Some
their
people,
fitna.
Umar
right?
was as well.
Right?
He was more lying by
And
default.
some people by their nature are more lamb.
Service.
But either one of those is incomplete. Right? To be one or the other, it's not binary. That either you're on savage mode or you're on servant mode all day, every day. Because remember when I said to you that Ibn al-Qayyim has that one thing, that one long chapter in Kitab al-Fawaid where he goes through these manners that people take on extremes. Right? For example, remember the opposite of fear is not bravery. The opposite of fear is recklessness.
Correct.
At
That's
our-
we spoke about.
The middle path is what?
It's
Is
bravery.
courage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So likewise, for example, the opposite of humiliation is not humility. It's arrogance. Between humiliation and arrogance is
It's
humility.
humility.
Does that make sense? So being purely just a lion and being purely just a lamb is wrong, and you agree.
Absolutely, yeah.
What you're talking about is that there has been a recent push in recent times
We're
just to
living-
make everyone
we're-
into a lamb.
We're living
Gone
in
too far lamb.
yeah.
in a
we need
land
to
of
go
lambs.
more lamb.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you there. But the reason why Khalid radiallahu anhu would shed tears is because he knew that his perfection is in tapping into the lamb mode every now and again. The reason why Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, who when in the battle of battle of Yamama with the tribe Banu Hanifa, Musaylim al-Kadhab.
Yes.
What did he say? He said, if they refuse to give me. Umar was in this battle saying, no, we're not going to fight them. How can we fight them? Leave them off. And Abu Bakr said, if they refuse to give me even the rope they tied their camel with that they used to give the Prophet, I'm going to fight them. So you went into lion mode. Point being is that the perfection is in what? Doing what's right for. Actually, this is a very powerful point.
Hikmah.
This shows that they weren't doing it for their nafs.
Yes,
they were doing
this
it.
is the thing I wanted to mention. When they're lions, it was lion fi sabilillah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm
And
saying?
when there were lambs, it was lambs fi sabilillah.
And I mentioned this example, but a powerful example.
Can we not use the feasibility for God's sake? For God's sake.
For the sake of Allah.
It's 2025.
For
All
Allah's
right,
sake.
guys.
For Allah's
For Allah's sake.
For Allah's sake.
Someone actually asked recently in the
I
comments,
know.
why
Yeah,
does he say God
Because
instead
I'm
of-
speaking
instead of Allah?
English. Because I'm speaking English.
Allah
God
is
means
the
Allah. Yeah,
Allah is the
okay.
thing.
See, now
but
you
what's the
went
difference
to an
between God?
extreme with
Let me-
this
let me-
thing
Sometimes
as
I
well.
say Allah, sometimes I say God.
Okay, 1 second. So let me give you these two stories that will drive the point home, inshallah. After Battle of Badr, what did Abu Bakr and the Prophet want to do to the captives?
Let them go.
They want to ransom them.
Ransom them.
And Umar said what? No.
Execute.
They should be executed, right?
Mhm.
So here now Umar is what?
No, but you didn't put perception. These are people that were oppressing monotheists and torturing them, and these were now they're captured as prisoners in battle.
Yeah, they were trying to. Yeah, of course, they were trying to conduct a genocide and whatever, and so on and so forth. So point being is that this is what Umar said. Umar said what? To give them that punishment. Now, who was the lion there?
Omar.
And who was in lamb with Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu?
Yeah.
Now, when you look, when the battle against Musaylim al-Kadhab happened, Umar was saying, no, you can't kill them. They're Muslims. And what did Abu Bakr say? Abu Bakr said, no, I'm going to. The roles were reversed, right? And that shows that it wasn't based on personal preference. Let's just be lions. No, it's about what does Allah want
What's
from me in this
needed,
situation?
I'm trying to hear this istikhara thing still.
Yeah, okay, خلاص, I'll move to the istikhara thing.
It's getting
Is that when I said I used to do it حق كل كبير وصغير back in the day, I felt with me personally, maybe you disagree with me, maybe it doesn't apply to you, but I'm talking a long time ago, all right? Is that,
Before Facebook.
yeah, before Facebook days or early Facebook days, is that, يا أخي, you need to be able to make istikhara and not have taraddud.
Of course.
You get what I mean? Like many people, or how should I put it? It's like, I feel that there are a lot of people that make istikhara, and then when they go for it, they don't go with a strong heart, with a qalb qawi.
With certainty.
Okay.
With a qalb qawi.
But that goes against the
agree.
ayah. Allah said, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ
No,
عَلَى
but
اللَّهِ.
okay, I understand. Okay, what's the point?
There are some things, okay, I'm trying to...
There are people
You're
that don't
asking-
pray
you-
with khushu. Does that mean they shouldn't
No,
pray?
you're trying to... You want me to give you the blunt version, right?
I just want to know what your point is.
My point is that I've seen that a lot of people who make, unfortunately in our time, a lot of people who make the most istikhara for big and small things, they're the least confident. And it shouldn't be that way.
Really, I'm the most confident after
That's
the
you,
istikhara.
that's you, brother, that's you. That's you. That's not everybody.
I don't know that to
You
be
get
even
what
the
I mean?
case. I feel like people don't even make istikhara.
Maybe I'm not explaining it properly. Fawaz, you get what I'm saying?
then dua. Now listen,
Brother, there are some
I
things-
completely hear you. You know
Okay,
what it is,
I'm
yeah?
gonna give you the example.
Give me the example.
I'm gonna
Give
give
me
you
the
the
You know what it is?
example.
I feel like
Brother, there are some
you've
things-
just seen like
traumas,
this so
there are-
specific
and they
group of people,
bleed
and then
into
you see the, whoa, there's this
Who
people.
are you talking to
No,
here?
brother, there are some things that you just do. You don't need to make istikhara for it.
Yeah, it's true. You make
There are some
istikhara
things
when
that you
don't
just do.
know.
When you get to a position where you've understood that istikhara, you need to make it for absolutely everything. This creates problems in your psyche.
That's what's worse, akhi.
You get what
You
I
only
mean?
you know. One second.
Yes.
You do istikhara when
You
there's
understand?
more than one.
There's some things.
Yeah.
One second. There's this.
I understand you.
you do
He's talking
istikhara-
about those like brothers that like
Should I have popcorn
vegetables or curry today. Istikhara. Do you know what I'm
No,
saying?
more than that. More than like, for example, I'll give you an example. There was
today? He's got two women.
there was a sister. She went to someone I know, okay, through somebody, and she wanted to marry him. She proposed to him, okay, and the brother said, "This is her profile. This is it." The brother said no straight away. Said no straight away. Did he make istikhara and say no?
No.
Said no straight away.
Yeah, because there might
He
be a
wasn't
major
confused.
red flag. There's
Huh?
no confusion.
Yeah, he wasn't confused.
No, there was no major red flag
He just wasn't confused.
based on description. No,
Yeah, Jamil.
Okay.
you get what I mean. Now somebody else.
When the Prophet rejected the woman who presented herself to him, he didn't do istikhara. He just said, "No, I'm not interested."
This is an example.
But say now, for example, you got two sisters you're inquiring into. Both of them are equally attractive. Both of them got. And you just
Say
do
yes.
istikhara.
But no, go finish the story. Finish the story.
Huh?
Finish the story.
Which story?
Oh, is that
Which
there? Is that
story?
the end of the story?
Yeah, you see what I mean? This is an example. There are certain things that you don't need to make istikhara for.
Yeah, but no one
When you
disagrees
start
with that.
making istikhara for things that you don't need to make istikhara for, it does something to your psyche.
We agree with you.
That's what's worse.
That's what I'm saying. That's my
Yeah.
point. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There are guys that used to make istikhara for everything, even for things they didn't need to make istikhara for. And
no.
I'll admit, I was one of those guys. And I stopped doing that. Now I make istikhara for things that istikhara needs to be made for. فقط.
Yeah,
لا أكثر ولا أقل.
istikhara. If there's a
That's my point.
situation where you've got more than one,
Do you get
I
me?
understand. But you know what it is? Sometimes I feel like what you might do is there's like a very specific thing that you've got in mind. But when you make the statement, it seems as if you're talking generally. But you're talking about a specific situation. People that do it too much when they shouldn't do it. And
because it sounds like you're trying to say, no, don't.
it sounded like at the beginning, it sounded like you were saying, oh yeah, I used to
Yeah.
do istikhara.
I used to like to trigger you sometimes. No,
No, it's not triggering.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
It makes
I said I used to.
It's worrying.
You said
I worry
do-
for you, my brother.
I know you do, but you said you need to do istikhara for every big, every small, and that triggered me.
Always do istikhara before any major decision. You'll never regret anything.
Always do istikhara before any major decision. You'll never regret anything.
You get what
You
I'm
did- you
saying?
did say
Okay,
that.
okay, so
You
maybe
did say
that.
my wording
You did
could
say
have been
that. Yeah,
better.
even I.
That's the point. If
My
the
wording
message
should've
I
been
want to
better.
get out is
No,
that
bro, okay.
there are things that you don't need to make istikhara for.
One second, you
I'll
don't
put my
understand.
If you're-
One second, you don't
Put my
understand
hands
what you just did.
Put my hands
You
up.
don't understand what you just did.
Put my hands up.
You caught the blue,
Major decision.
and you made him say sorry.
Yeah.
Put my hands
You
up.
caught a blue. That's the act. That's like, what's the hardest fish to find?
Nah, it's not hard to
It's,
catch.
uh,
Blue.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not hard to catch.
Well,
blue.
it is for a dyslexic guy like me.
Well, hardest fish is there's a couple there.
Great white shark.
Tell me one.
Shit,
The hardest fish. It's always slipping away.
It's elusive.
like one a
Layla.
tricky fish.
It always knows you're there, and he just slips away. It always knows the direction you're coming. Keep going.
Yeah, Sheikh. There's a name of it in the Mediterranean. But in the Mediterranean, everything is endangered and missing because they dynamite.
We call it the Abu Bakr fish from now.
Okay.
Akhi, you just call yourself Abu Bakr. And wallahi,
Well, he never apologized.
no, it's just hard to catch him. He's a blue.
Oh, so I caught it. Yeah, so I
Alright.
caught it.
Oh yeah, you
Made
caught
Take
me.
a picture. This is. Take a picture 1 second. What's it? Do that again. Do that again. Do that again. But take a screenshot. Just do it again. Go.
No, don't do it.
Just
Don't
Do it again.
do this.
Do it again.
No, don't
No,
do
because
it.
you have to pin
I
that.
said
It's a pin
retake.
post next to the big fish that you caught.
No.
That was a
That's
moment.
good. But you get the point.
I get the point.
Yeah.
We've been in agreement.
Khalas, kid, that's the only.
I have one question before
Okay, we have to
before
end.
we end.
We have to end.
It's a very blue question, but we don't have to do it.
I'm curious.
But if you don't want to hear the question,
Ask it at the beginning of the next episode.
okay.
With that said, guys, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.
What's the difference between
No.
shedding tears and crying for you?
Before we jump back into the podcast, I need to share something with you that changed everything for me. Last year was one of the hardest years of my life. My health was at an all-time low. I had constant fatigue, brain fog, massive weight gain. My marriage, it was the hardest year of my married life. My business, I had setback after setback. Even my salah was suffering due to the lack of khushu' and my seeking knowledge. I was in a terrible place until I sat down with the Muslim entrepreneur coach on this podcast, namely Brother Fawaz. And he made a bold claim. He said, I help Muslim entrepreneurs make 10x more money whilst working 4 times less, at the same time showing them how to thrive in their marriages, in their health, and in their religion. Truth be told, it was a bold claim. I wasn't entirely convinced, but what's a man to do when he's desperate? I needed a solution. So I joined his Live by Design mentorship. And I can swear to you by Allah, it changed everything for me with Allah's permission. I am now making more money than ever before. I am also working less. In fact, I work very few hours, but the Live by Design program has showed me how I can get a week's worth of work done in just a few hours every single day. I feel healthier than ever before. I'm turning up better than ever before. My family is happy with me. And my salah is back. And my seeking of knowledge is thriving with Allah's permission. And just to be clear, I'm not the only one. One of Fawaz's mentees on his program was making just 13K a month while struggling in his life. Just 6 months later is doing $500,000 a month. Allah Mabarak. So here's the truth. If you're a Muslim entrepreneur that's making at least 100K every year, but you know that you're operating far from your actual potential and these other areas of your life that are very important are struggling, then Fawaz's Live by Design mentorship might just be the thing for you. But please be warned, it's not easy, nor is it cheap. But if you're ready to live a life that you design with Allah's permission, then check out the link below in the description of this video. This is the program that changed my life with Allah's permission. And it might just change yours as well, inshallah. With that said, let's get back into the podcast.